It connects to many other aspects of human behavior and development. If you could just couple it with your own interests, passion, and skills and strengths, I'm sure you could carve a niche for yourself and come out with a long-term career plans. This is where your faculty, the counselors can really come in place and help all of you. Please take the expert opinion of adults, your family members, your faculty. So the types of jobs. So pat yourself, the human development students or those of you who would like to enter this field, you have a wide variety of jobs open for it, ranging from production jobs, technical jobs, sales jobs, service jobs, teaching and research jobs. And each of these, again, when I talk about the production job, it is across lifespan. When we are talking about the teaching jobs, you might be employed in a preschool, in a university, in a college, in a training center. If you are in a service job, it could be serving the geriatric patients, serving young children, serving women. So there are multiple opportunities across the lifespan and in different settings. So this is something we need to really appreciate when we are choosing the subject home science. But it's not just the academic knowledge that we need to have. My dear young students, as Dr. Shanta was rightly saying, there is a demand. And this is something less explored. Every year, thousands of engineering colleges across India churn out engineering graduates. Medical college bring out medical students and the doctors. With due respects to all these professions, I would like to say that, yes, many places it has reached a saturation point, and many of the well-qualified engineers and doctors are really wondering where to join, what to do with a niche kind of qualification and the training they have received. We have an advantage. With due respects again to all the departments and all the subjects, I would like to say that here in the subject of home science and human development per se, we have both the doors open at the upper end and the lower end. It is for us to find out, discover, and see where we fit in, because it is so flexible, it is so open in nature, and you have an opportunity in probably every discipline in every field, be it in a hospital, in a training institute, in a corporate. So it is not just the academic qualification that is required. Very importantly, if you can blend your personal qualities, your soft skills, along with the knowledge you have gained, you can really become a career woman of your choice. So what is it that you require apart from the subject knowledge? It is very, very important that you keep yourself physically, mentally, emotionally fit, because that is very much required today. We need people who have all these faculties open and who can function, liaison with people of all age groups. So your emotional maturity, your soft skills, the social competence, the good communication skills and etiquette and mannerism. This is very much important. In fact, NASCOM says that 70% of the graduates are unemployed.
Ma'am,
yes.
Your slide is on how to plan your career. I think there's an issue there. It's stuck there.
Okay, I go back. Oh. So none of this was visible? Is it visible now, Michelle? Hello?
Ma'am, it's, yes, now
what you need?
is visible. Yes.
Okay, okay. But I finished speaking about it. You can I'll just pause a couple of seconds on each of these slides. You can take a look at this. I was talking about how we need to merge these very, very importantly, the physical well-being, the emotional. This is something extremely important today. It is not just the academic skills, but it is very important that we have good set of life skills. In fact, NASCOM says 70% of the graduates, professionally qualified graduates, are not employable, which means to say that just having a human development degree, just having a law degree or any degree for that matter will not make you a successful career woman or a career person. In fact, it is these additional qualities and qualifications and skills is what that is required. So if you can improve or work on these skills, take care of your physical and mental well-being, your social competence, that is something which is going to carve a niche for yourself. So please identify. Is the next one visible? Common employers?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, it's visible. It's visible. Next one.
Yes,
Yes,
now it
visible.
is.
Okay. So where are the, or which are the places and who are our employers for human development graduates? Yes, again, sky is the limit. A whole gamut of non-government organizations. There are various non-government organizations working in field, again, in the field of adolescence, social welfare, disability development, geriatrics, women empowerment, preschool, many such NGOs. Yes, so we all or all of you stand a chance to get jobs in non-government organizations, preschools and schools, colleges and universities. I'll just quickly run through. It's all there too for all of you to see. Hospitals, yes, all these are the common places where the students can get jobs or employment. Suppose I'm interested as a student, you have identified for yourself that my passion is to work with young children. Yes, these are some of the areas in early childhood. Again, you need to find out, is my interest in teaching, in content development? Do I want to become a counselor? Do I want to exercise my rights? I want to be an advocate. I want to promote or work for a cause. So this is something you need to identify. If you think you're much suited to work with teenagers, the adolescent, the youth, yes, again, there are a whole lot of jobs, whole lot of opportunities available. Today, we are talking about life skill trainers, counselors, mentors, shadow teachers, the therapists, the program specialists, and of course, the assistant professors, the lecturers, and the traditional jobs. So these are some of the jobs that are open. If you think that I am a person who is interested in helping, this is the hat I wear. I want to lose myself in helping people, and at the end of the day, I want to get my pay packet also. I want to be paid for what I am doing, and this is what I enjoy doing. I like to help people. Yes, for those of you who are interested to take up helping field as your career, these are some of the places where you can, as caseworkers, working in adoption service centers, juvenile justice system, and the last one, counselors. Yes, counseling by itself is a vast and varied field. You can get your expertise in marriage counseling, abuse counseling, gerontological counseling, child counseling, many things. Along with the subject of human development, master's or degree, get yourself or enroll yourself into short-term courses. There are a whole lot of counseling centers, certification courses available. Check out the credibility of these courses, check out the credibility of the organizations, and enroll yourself into counseling courses where you get hands-on training, handling cases, writing reports, and believe me, young students, counseling is in great demand. In fact, today, people need help. We say that India has become a diabetes capital, depression and anxiety are on the rise. So this is where the calling comes from. Yes, counseling is really required, and we do not have enough psychiatrists to handle the mental health issues of people. And this is where lay counselors and counselors come in. And if you have taken up human development, studying developmental psychology, understanding people, counseling is something that can come really easy for you. Coupled with this, if you have skills and abilities like helping skills, a lot of patience, good communication skills, being non-judgmental, genuinely interested in helping people, empathy, my dear students, you should be thinking of counseling as a career. End of the day, You will be touching the lives of many a people, making the difference to their lives, at the same time making or earning in good way also. Suppose some of my young friends here say that, ma'am, I am interested in design. I like innovation. I like creating something. Yes, my dear students, product development, module making, concept kits, working on multimedia, books, models, yes, it is there for you. And of course, again, across the lifespan, for various domains, for various abilities. So this is something which you, given, or if we have more time, probably we could talk more about each of these. But as I told you, with a given short duration and covering all the other aspects of home science, each of us probably will be talking in brief about these subjects. Anytime we are accessible, I think you can contact us for more information on any of this. Yes. Is that all? No. For those students who have the managerial and team spirit in you, who are cheerful, dynamic, reliable, for those of you, here is something where you can start your own NGOs, self-help groups, run your own institutions, training centers, innovative courses. In fact, one of my students a couple of years back started this wonderful course in child development. Today, we have people studying various courses, professional courses, getting themselves the much coveted degrees, coming out of universities, but with a due respect to life, all of us or most of us end up with a career and a home, marriage and family. Yes, we go through the institutions and colleges and get ourselves qualified and get prepared for various jobs and professions. But how are we qualified to become efficient parents? How much do we know about running a family to take care of people, children, nurture young individuals? So this is where human development comes in. And this young student of mine came out with a small, short certificate course in child development. This was open for people across all age groups from different professions. Trust me, she is running this much in-demand course from the past 6 or 7 years, and corporate lawyers, doctors, then the various other software engineers are enrolling themselves into this, and they ask us, what a beautiful subject human development and child development is, and it is much required for each and every one. Why isn't this subject made a compulsory subject? Because end of the day, irrespective of the different hats we wear, we go back to the families. We are with our parents, the young children, we are with the youth, the teenagers. So we need to be studying this subject. So innovative courses, not just in child development, innovative courses, it could be about health, it could be about nutrition, it could be about fitness. Yes, girls, this is all available. You need to work on that. Is this slide visible? Child life specialist slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so take a quick look and I move on. More to the list. This is the slide I'm on now. Visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So more to the list I have already discussed and shown. These are other options available for students of human development. I just stop here before I move on to, okay, I have stopped sharing. Yes. I have stopped sharing. Okay. Yes. So till now we were discussing, or rather I was talking to you how human development as a subject can throw open a lot of education opportunities and career opportunities. And we need to explore, or rather I need to explore what is it that I am interested in and look around for opportunities and create or blend my interest, options and talents and venture out. So till now, if things are fine, any question at this point before I move on? Another few, how much time, Michelle, I have?
Ma'am, we've kind of exceeded the time a little bit.
Okay. Another
Yes.
5 minutes?
Sure.
Okay.
Participants, if you have any queries, you please post
Before
it
I
on
move on,
the chat box.
yeah, is the slide visible? My slide reads some key headlines.
Key headlines, yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Take a quick look, my dear participant. Run through these slides. Just read these headlines here. You would have come across these headlines in newspapers, in journals, in some reports. What is it that I'm talking about? I move on. Headlines continued. About 55% of adolescent girls and women are anemic. About 36% of urban women are employed. About 1.7% of the total child population are disabled. This is another slide I'm talking about. The elderly, 65% of the aged need dependency, or they need some kind of help or aid. If you have read these headlines here, I come to the chat box. What is it that you are reading? What is it that these lines indicating? Quick answers in your chat box, please. I have run through 3 or 4 different slides across different life events. Okay. What are those slides indicating? Let me see some answers quickly. I give you 10 seconds. Is it stating something? Giving you
Ma'am,
statistics?
we can't see your screen, ma'am.
No, I have stopped sharing. I am looking at the chat
Okay.
box.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking for quick answers from my participants.
Sure.
I showed some of the slides. Were the headlines visible? I
Yes.
suppose, yes. So, the chat box. I'm unable to see the answers here. Okay, due to paucity of time, I go back to the presentation. Let's see.
Shobha, there was a question which said, can BSc Home Science do speech therapy?
I'll take up that. I should take up that. Yes, yes. For this question, did I get any answers? Dr. Shanta, if you can just, if you can.
Question, as you finish summing up.
Okay, this is where I was. Is my slide visible? Once again, sorry to bother you all.
Yes.
So I showed you these key headlines,
Yes.
and I asked you a question. What are these lines indicating to you? Is it stating a problem? Is it giving you a situational picture? What is it? Yes, when I showed all these things, this is where I'm talking about entrepreneurship opportunities. My dear young students, please note, entrepreneurship is another wide window of opportunity available for the students of human development. Why? Because an entrepreneur is one who sees an opportunity when there is a problem. So if you saw problems here in the form of 55% of adolescent girls being anemic, 36% of urban women employed, yes, there is an issue, there is a challenge. As an entrepreneur, as a subject expert in human development or nutrition, do I see a business opportunity here? If 55% of adolescent girls, which is a key focus area in the entire human development span, if young girls are anemic, what could be the downfall of anemia? We are looking at poor performance, heightened mortality and maternal mortality rate. We have a next generation of not so healthy individuals. So where does entrepreneurship venture come here? This is where I would like to quote quickly a couple of examples. One of a student has just come out with a wonderful chocolate made out of iron-rich natural foods. Energy bars is another thing, another specialist in human development has come up with. And trust me, this particular chocolate, we have tested it. It can increase the hemoglobin level when person, especially it could be a pregnant woman or anybody, when she consumes it, every day for a month, 2 chocolate bars, it can increase minimum by 1%. The hemoglobin level can go up. And this girl is making a good amount of money and getting into service activity. And I would like to emphasize and say that develop this kind of attitude instead of looking at the problem as an entrepreneur. Is there an opportunity in every problem? This is something which we need to be looking at. So if we say that in India, currently there are about 140 million aged in India, the theory of geriatrics tells us or teaches you about disengagement. It teaches you about how the faculty, the various faculty, the sensory capabilities of an individual comes down as we age. Diminishing vision, diminishing locomotor ability. So this is where the human development student should wear an entrepreneurship hat and then look at what are the services an aged person require, because we are talking about nuclear families. We need services for the aged. We need many such products, services. So can I become an entrepreneur in this particular field? So this is something we need to look at, my dear students. If you have an idea, if you have a plan, then just do it. There are many organizations which can help. Some of the places you just have to walk with an idea. You just have to walk with a thought in your mind, and the organization takes care of the entire thing, the R&D, the funding, to train you how to write a proposal. So yes, we need people who can think differently, who can blend the idea of home science and human development and create a product, create a service, create a research. That is something what is required, girls. I would like to just quote a couple of people who have studied human development.
Ma'am?
Yes?
Are you almost at the end? Because
Yes.
we kind of overshot the time quite a bit.
I'll just take
Sorry.
2 minutes. Sorry. Yeah, please excuse me. I will just, okay. 2 case studies. One who has done her master's in human development, doing wonderfully well in the field of infant stimulations, started her own startup. Another very illustrious person, BSc in home science. She's a motivational speaker, started her own training institute. And yes, the sky is the limit. I think I stop here. As I told you, this is not an inclusive one. I haven't done justice to all the career opportunities or the courses human development or home science can offer. My dear girls, that is the beauty of human development or home science. There is more to talk about, more to share. If I have created that interest in you, ignited that spark in you regarding the subject of human development, I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, and I shall take up question and answers. Yes, there is a question here. Probably if I have time, I'll answer this now, or probably at the end of the session, I could take up that too. Thank you so much once again, my dear participants and the organizers.
Ma'am, perhaps you could take a question. So
Right.
anyone,
Yes.
There is someone who's asking if a person wants to be a special education teacher,
Okay.
is B.Ed enough, or should we do some additional courses?
Okay, good question. The subject human development, whether it is at the degree level, at the master's level, does expose you to the subject special education, the various disabilities, and it exposes you through the various visits, the internships. The student definitely gets a first-hand knowledge, theoretical and practical knowledge about the special abilities and special education. But if you want to qualify yourself as a speech therapist, as a specialist learning disabled, or teaching or becoming an occupational therapist, I suggest, and it is very much required, that you also qualify in that particular field. Get yourself enrolled in the special institutions where you get a specialized course. Probably if you're interested in speech and hearing, you could explore AISH in Mysore. Look at the different certification courses in that particular area of your specialist interest. With the knowledge, foundation knowledge of human development and masters and special education courses or subjects you've studied, the special certification course will definitely make you more job ready and will give you more skills. So I would suggest that enroll in such organizations and get the special degree. Mere B.Ed alone will make you or will qualify you to become a teacher in a regular mainstream school. But in order to be a successful special educator, I suggest that you take up special education courses. A lot of courses are available, can go through the net, or we could suggest some of the courses and organizations where if we have more time. So I would suggest or recommend getting yourself qualified in the chosen field, please.
Uh,
Any other
I
question?
think
If time
we will
permits.
take the remaining questions later. Right now, we will not be able to answer any more, but be assured, participants, that we will get back to you with responses to the various queries that you have. Thank you so much, Dr. Shobha. I think we've
Thank you,
opened
Michelle.
wide
Yes.
the
Yeah.
windows of human development, and you have given all our participants a very clear and a very wide view, a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts. So I'm sure all of them have lots to consider, and probably this could be a starting point for, for them to dream and dream big and move forward. So thank you so much for
Thank you,
that.
Michelle. Yes, there are a few more questions. I'll take it up. Rehabilitation Council of India is one where you could enroll, learn more about, or get into courses. Yes, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. We'll take up more questions.
Yes, okay. Um, Moving forward, I now call upon my associate, Dr. Sapna Dinesh, dynamic lady, an expert in the area of resource management and interior design, to acquaint us with former faculty of the department and the very enterprising uh, Dr. Geeta Suresh.
Good evening, all participants. Good evening, Dr. Geeta Suresh.
No.
It's my honor to introduce you, ma'am. She's an experienced academician specialized in interior design, ergonomics, and entrepreneurship who has got more than 15 years of teaching experience. Currently, she works as a curriculum designer and mentor for various institutions. She is a certified faculty scholar and mentor recognized by National Entrepreneurship Networking. I'm indeed happy to say that she was an assistant professor in our own department, Department of Home Science, Mount Carmel College, Bangalore, since June 2004 till May 2013. The highlight about her is she was heading the Department of Interior Design and Management, Mount Carmel College from 2007 to 2013, and she has to her credit the curriculum developed for the undergraduate course in interior design management, and almost 15 batches have successfully passed out. She has also conducted several workshops on tie and dye, batik, and block print, and also creative courses and skill based activities at various institutions across Bangalore. She has been serving as an academician at school and college level since 1991. I, on behalf of Department of Home Science, Mount Carmel College, welcome you, ma'am, to the webinar. Dr. Geeta Suresh will enlighten us on resource management, myth and reality. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sapna. I think I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I would first, always, it's a very pleasant moment to be back with Mount Carmel. I think it's already opened up.
No, ma'am, your screen
Okay.
is not visible.
Okay. Yeah. I would like to thank Sister Dr. Shanta Maria, the Dean of Home Science, Dr. Sundravalli, the other department, my friends, and the new staff members, the entire participants. After listening to Shanta's vibrant, as usual, her introductory speech, and then the last 25-30 minutes with Dr. Shobha and another friend, the amazing talk. Now, the students will, I think, especially when we talk about home science, we know that we are always divided. Though we know the home science is such a powerful subject, it has its own, the way we talk about it. And now, with such a great opening batsman, I think always when Sachin enters, last batsman should always be more powerful. So I think they first introduced Shobha. Now we all should be more powerful to work into it. But the highlight of this particular home science is you don't need to highlight anything because the course itself is such a beautiful. Maybe the students might think at this age, teachers have an experience or they are highlighting the courses of home science, something extraordinary. And as a student, what is there? I don't feel something. But I think as you grow, you will understand the vibrant of this particular home science. And when I talk about, and now I've been given this particular thing, the resource management, because I've specialized in this. And I want to talk this particular course in two different ways. One is the myth of the course, the other one, the reality. Why this particular concept of myth? And I want to add one thing with what Shanta was talking about in our introductory. Yes, most of the students have that opinion about home science. As the world has changed, this home science is what students are not very familiar, or they feel that something which is not comfortable to their way of, like when I come out and say that I'm a graduate of a biochemistry, I'm a graduate of a science, anything that gives something a pride. And when we say that I'm a graduate of home science, and girls, when I entered Mount Carmel in 2002, I was producing a pamphlet and I was doing a lot of career activities. And that time, one faculty was there in Mount Carmel. She said, I was so happy that first time I've seen in the pamphlet that home scientist, the person who is teaching all these skills, is an home scientist. So these are the things you should be happy of what you've done, what you're doing, what you're going to do. I think we had heard from Shobha a lot about the motivations, how to take up our course to the next level. I'll concentrate exclusively of resource management. Why do we say the myth? I could say that this why I listed these three as a highlights is teaching in the Department of Home Science for more than 15 years. I know my students very well, and how the students feel also I know that. I've literally sensed the students feeling about what is their future, what they want to know. So when we used to talk with our students, especially the final year home science, I know all the time the students come up with one, two, three answers. It's only that one or two. If not, they'll have a third option. And by the time I know the smile in your faces, what is at one and two? So it's not that there are varied courses. Yes, of course, we have varied courses in our home science. But the priority of home science will be sometime highlighted with certain areas. It's been focused. So that is where I want to highlight the myths of resource management. There is no interesting career opportunities. This is what the students think. And another one, they do not have attractive subjects as other branches of home science. And you all know, if you would have gone through the history of this particular subject, the titles were home economics, home management, family resource management. Currently, now it's been redefined or recoined to resource management. So, again, the myth is it should be related only to the family, as the title suggests. I would just say that it's completely a different. The reality of this particular field, resource management, it's one of the most interesting branch of home science. Oh, is it? You'll just wait and see when I'm going to talk about it. Diverse field. It's huge. Some of the introduction topics were spoken from by Shanta. Yes, it is a diverse field. The growth spectrum is vast. There is no shortage of growth, and there is how we are going to take up is in the student hands. Just look at these images, students, anyone, all the participants. You'll really feel, what are these things? It's a very, can you see the diversity in the images? I'll show you one more set of images. And don't you feel both these images are linked with our everyday living? We need every day all these things. Budgeting. It's not that only Nirmala Sitaraman, even we could understand. All of us need that budgeting, right? And you could know about this, the resources. See the wide, the diversification, what we were talking. Human resources, energy. Again, you could see the ergonomics, anthropometries, the field. So, as we were talking, the it is completely a varied field, diversified field, and it's not excluded or secluded to one particular concept. That is the beauty of this subject. But unfortunately, it's not been highlighted. That, yes, I could accept it. You could see the core areas of resource management. Really, I would love to say that the core areas are amazing, and every student, if understand this particular field, they'll really love this. Housing and design, management, ergonomics, consumer, resources and environment, hospitality and housekeeping. These are the core areas, and you could just keep listing into these in a housing and design, designing, decorations, furniture, product, and most of the undergraduate home science students would have touched upon all these things. So you would have had an interest. But most of the time, the students only question with me, or most of the resource management teachers, what do I do after this? That is the biggest question, because I very well knew that when we used to teach about interior design, when we teach about ergonomics, students are fascinated. They really love these subjects, but they don't know as a career what is this particular course is having for them. Most of these courses, if you look at it, it's very interesting, and you could relate it in your everyday activities. Consumer, and you all know this pandemic, March 20 to March 2021. What a tremendous change has happened, right? In that, if you look, this particular concepts, ergonomics, consumer, all were highlighted issues. You know about, people were talking about work from home, your furniture, how to sit, better get up and walk, make yourself. This all comes from resource management, right? You learn about man-machine interface, postural behavior, oh, my neck pain. Oh, I'm not sitting properly. All this. So you name the course, you have it in your resource management. And each and every particular course of these core areas have its own identification, have its own career opportunities. How to go ahead with this is we'll just look into it. And one more thing I would like to add is the most interesting field is these three, as per my way of looking, because they are relevant to all time: ergonomics, energy management, consumer behavior. And these particular courses, though we touch upon in the undergraduate, the students are not familiar with this, and they always assume, it's an assumption. They think that only a management students could get into a better option. Not required. You could, as a MSc post graduations in resource management, you could get into various opportunities in these fields. And today, ergonomics is the most important subject talked by everyone. And if you look into the syllabus of the entire academics in our Indian system, the ergonomics has been touched more by resource management than the industrial engineering also. Even in industrial engineering, they touch only in a general way, but we go in depth. That is the advantage of this particular course, but we have to not highlighting, or maybe the students are not able to understand where to go ahead, what is my next course, because we always see our immediate seniors where they go and settle, and we also finalize our ideas into that field and get into that. See, I think that is one the resource management teachers should get into the students' minds at the undergrad level to give them the exposure about the courses. Once you start learning this, it is an amazing learning. Especially, I will tell you, students, ergonomics, consumer behavior. It's an endless way of learning, and it gives you so much of creativity. And by default, you'll start learning more. That is the beauty of this particular course. For this particular webinar, I was just looking into certain websites and those institutional websites about our home science. I found that listed institutions in India, we have 302 colleges, home science colleges in India. Out of that, 176 are offering PG courses, and 70 of them are giving PG in resource management and interior design, or resource management and consumer sciences. That so that's a very good number. If you wanted to look only as PG in like MSc in resource management, there are only 16 colleges. But if you get the combination like resource management and consumer sciences, or resource management and ergonomics, resource management with interior design, the combinations, there are around 70 colleges in India which are offering the courses. So there is no dearth of course availability. You have to just be ready. As Dr. Shobha is saying, just look at what is your priority, what is your area of interest. Once you start understanding your interest, you know that where you have to go. And especially in this particular field, resource management, these are your higher education availability. Interior design, resource management and consumer sciences, MSc ergonomics and design, and especially when you work on this MSc ergonomics and design, or if you get a certificate courses in ergonomics, you have an amazing future, because very few people are certified with ergonomics. So you could go into the field there into a larger scale. And yes, of course, our students could take up MBA, HR, finance, consumer behavior, event management. So the opportunities are wide open. And any course for that matter as a home science, it is entrepreneurial. I'll just talk about myself at later stage, because this entrepreneurial is being actually I could say that it will be by default imbibed within you once you start studying BSc, the varied field of our home science. And especially the resource management avenues are wide open. As I was talking about you, ergonomic consultant, postural assessor, today, industries and institutions, all of them wanted these posture assessors, because there are not many postural assessors or the ergonomic consultants. Industries all wanted this particular bit to avoid the absenteeism in their employees, or the about their physical discomforts. So this is a most important area we could concentrate, and this is a place where you could tap it up because of the competition. There is no competition, it's coming up, and people are slowly understanding that how you could get into these areas. Event organizers, again, that is one of the biggest field opened up. The event management and event managers, hundreds of, right from a small parties to a biggest functions, whether it is a national level or it is at your apartment level, a small categories. Event organizers are the most wanted personalities today. Financial planners. Not necessary to be a Raghuram Rajan. Our resource management students know much better budgeting for a family, for the local community. You could work on it. So just look into that as a very good opportunity. Financial planners, interior decorators, designers, as Shanta was talking. Yes, some of the courses have been taken up which was exclusively for resource management, like hotel management people have come into our housekeeping. Other courses are, yes, for any courses there should be a wide opportunity open. How do we tap it is with the student community, but you have the opportunities across the field. And one more important thing I would like to highlight here is softwares. You could be your own software centers. Use the technology. You young girls are very smart in technology. Take up this AutoCAD, 3ds Max, ergonomic postural tools. These three areas are the most important softwares which resource management students get to learn. They are really too good in this particular field. So use this opportunity. Including the architects, they are not well versed in AutoCADs or 3ds Max. Our design students sit with them and work on these. So you could just take it up this. Again, ergonomic postural tools. Now there are hundreds of postural tools have come in the softwares, and very few members are there to analyze the posture and read it through the images. So this is an opportunity where resource management students could take it up as their career. And it's not necessary you have to be a full-time employee. Be your own software centers. Enjoy it. You could satisfy all your needs. That is the beauty of an entrepreneur, right? Yes. So the entrepreneur prospect of this particular course is again wide open. Career opportunities, endless list. And again, I would like to add one particular thing is whether you're a nutritionist, you're a human development, or you're with a resource management, or an engineering, or a doctor, it's not about the subject. It's about the individual who makes it success. So how are you going to take up your course is what the opportunities are in front of you. And your opportunities are wide open, as I was telling you in the beginning. Lists are endless. You could just keep your eyes and ears open to get along and get into the opportunities. Ergonomist, designer, event manager, HR manager, environmentalist, consultant, teaching and research, always considered as a traditional, but still they are the most lovable job by students, community always they think. Yes, financial consultant, health insurance marketing officers, human resource executive, front office managers, lobby managers, and list keeps going on. This just to understand, to give a brief introduction for the resource management students. I just was looking into the salary concept. So when a child completes a degree, always this, with my experience with the students, this made me to do the search also. What is that a resource management child will be missing or lacking in the open market, which other field of students are getting from the home science. So when we looked at it, average salary at the entry level of home science field, the most coveted job. I know when I say that, you all know that because this is my own experience with my students. Always they say, what do you want to do? Ma'am, I want to be a dietitian. Right, darling, perfect. After that, what? After that, the child is stopped at that place. So then slowly, maybe after 3, 4 years, she might have an idea. So that at an undergraduate, her idea is always stuck with the dietitian. That. So when I was looking into that, what is that one particular field could attract a child, a student, and not the other fields? What is that lagging? Then when we found that the salary is similar, there is no change or the difference between the salary of the most coveted job or not a very thrilling ones. A dietitian is getting around 20K per month. Front office manager, something similar. A senior dietitian with a senior front office manager. So, one thing what I observe with my understanding with the students is it's not that the salary. I think the opening up which the student look is the most important, where we have to tap that the home science field itself is wide open and each course has its own beauty into it. Especially if you look at the entry level of a certified ergonomist, and at the entry level itself, an ergonomist could go up to 40 to 45K. Sorry, it's a per annum is a wrong thing. Sorry, it's a per month. So that is a very good starting for a child to understand and the most wanted feel. And within 2 to 3 years, you could be one of the most specialized person in that ergonomic field. So there are areas that open up which the student should understand. Resource management have a wide variety of the courses. This is just a small story which I want to talk about myself. This is not for to talk about me. I want the home science students, those who are now in their final year BSc, just to understand how your life could change over. And just like Dr. Shobha was talking about, after some years, the school children, when they are going to take up the job, it may not exist. I think that worked for me. I started my career, I studied 30 years back BSc Nutrition. Do you believe? And I wanted to do that course, only BSc Nutrition. And for my post graduation, I applied for biochemistry. And that is always nutrition students look only for a nutrition or a biochemistry. I too was in the same boat, only with biochemistry. Somehow I couldn't get into that. And I was admitted in my own college where I studied in Chennai for home management by my teachers. Initially, I was very reluctant. After 2, 3 months, when I realized that, oh my God, this course is having such an amazing subjects, the diversified subjects, resource management, interior design, ergonomics. What is this? Why am I missing all these things? Why am I being so blinded with one particular course as a biochemistry? And then I started, I think there was then no look back. Now I could very happily say that I'm an entrepreneur, curriculum designer. I could go my life like whatever Dr. Sapna told about me. I could enjoy my life, what I'm doing. That was all because that home management, or it was called at that time as a home management. Now we call it as a resource management. It opened up my eyes. I could diversify my feel into varied. I could very happily and proudly say that I entered into Murugappa Chettiar Research Center exclusively who works on resource management, that is water resources, waste recycling, and then could go into MS Swaminathan Foundation. We have a very wrong concept that resource management students don't have a wide opportunity. We have an excellent wide opportunity. So that is the biggest thing where we could deviate ourselves. And that interior design, what I studied there, and which supported me to work into a undergraduate course. So this particular field has a amazing opportunity if you plan it. If you go ahead, yes, definitely. As all Shanta was saying, Shubha was saying, the same thing I would like to conclude. Go and conquer the world. Nothing is there to stop you. Only thing, have your passion, commitment, love what you do. Always be updated in your chosen field. That is very important. Every day keep reading whatever is your field. That will take you to varied path and there is no stop for you girls. All the best. I hope this a small brief talk about resource management will enlighten you the varied features of this particular course. And there is no comparison of home science courses. All courses are amazing. but each course has its own way of looking into it. Yes, any questions?
Participants, please post your questions. Yes, somebody has raised the hand.
They can unmute and ask the question if they want.
Yeah. Kindly unmute and ask.
Always we could take it up. Too many questions or no questions, both has its answer.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
I am Rosemary Francis from St. Teresa's College.
Hi,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Resource management and interior designing, ma'am.
Okay.
And as you said, we also face a lot of problems because students are not accepting the opportunities, or they are not convinced about the opportunities in resource management. My request is that we should put forward some memorandum or something regarding the entry level. Like in Kerala, we don't admit arts students, arts graduates to PG level in resource management. Actually, we get a lot of inquiries from art students and even civil engineers and architects who consider this as a finishing school. Why can't we do something regarding it, ma'am?
Yes, I think that is a very important question. In fact, I wanted to mention one thing for all the participants also. I was very thrilled when I went to Avinash Lingam in January 2020 for a home science seminar. Dr. Vani Saraswati, I think you all would have heard about it. She is a actually dental doctor who loved this particular resource management and ergonomics, and a dentist, a doctor joined for this particular course, MSc Resource Management. I was really, taken, and I asked, how did? She said, no, this I loved it. That ergonomics is what we are learning from this particular course. Yes, as you told, ma'am, I think we have to go ahead with this particular resource management because it is having a very interesting course behind it. Maybe we have to put forward as the entire RM alumni and the entire, like Dr. Shanta Maria will support us. All the home science, as a home science, we have to go ahead and put forward this, like arts are eligible, art students, those who are interested with our courses are eligible to do the post graduation. I think we have to put a memorandum to the government. We have to get together and work on it. And students should, I think, first we have to make the students to be aware there are hundreds of opportunities in varied field of home science. That is first thing which we have to speak to the students. We have to tell it's not that one is better or other is a thing. There are opportunities. Which is your? I know our one of our Mount Carmel child. She loved interior design very much. I think that girl name I forgot, Gayatri someone. Now she finally did a nutrition and she ended up. Now also she is in touch through LinkedIn and all. She always says that, ma'am, in my heart I always love that interior design and ergonomics. I said, why you've never continued? Because they had that opinion, the career at the next stage is always with certain field. I think that is where we have to tap it up and we have to bring in our alumni to show them what to do with the course, how to go ahead with our course. Yes, we have to work a lot to get into that. But students, I would just say one thing, the opportunities are amazing. You have to just knock it. That's it.
Any more questions? Ma'am, there's a question. Can you list some courses on
Yeah.
ergonomics?
Yes, we have Indian School of Ergonomics. Actually, it's in Bangalore, Recoup Centers. They are offering courses, certified courses in ergonomics. And we have in IIT Bombay is also accepting for the certificate courses. You could connect through OSHA and NEOSH courses. they all are conducting certified courses. Now, Udemy and Coursera are also started with diploma and certified courses. So, courses are opportunities are available. Please look into it. Maybe I'll just share the link later with Dr. Sapna. She might post it to you people later. There are a lot of links for the ergonomics courses.
Okay. Any more questions? You can just post in the chat box. Yes, ma'am, we will share. So we will take the questions later. So Geeta ma'am, that was a wonderful talk. All the core areas of resource management and interior design were beautifully put together. All our young home scientists must be enlightened by now as of the scope of higher education in resource management, the entrepreneurial prospects, and a very clear overview of the career opportunities was also well said by Geeta ma'am, and I'm sure your growth path is clear now. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I would like to thank Shanta, Valli, Sapna, and all my friends. Thank you very much. Let's keep continuing with our sessions.
Geeta, don't leave. Wait, we will all meet again at the end.
Yes,
Okay?
yes, I'm there. Thank you,
Come back.
Shanta. Yes, Shanta.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta, and thank you, Sapna. Dr. Geeta, that was an amazing sharing. Now I invite my very vivacious teammate, Mrs. Lakshmi Jitendran, whose motivation is all things related to food science, nutrition, and dietetics, to present Dr. Adarsh Gowda.
Thank you, Michelle. Good evening, all. Food science and nutrition is a golden feather in the crown of home science. So, for today, we are going to have a session on career and higher education perspectives in food science as part of this national webinar. It's my pleasure to introduce the speaker for today's session, Dr. Adarsh Gowda. Dr. Adarsh Gowda is the Assistant Professor in Department of Food Processing and Engineering, St. Aloysius College, Mangalore. He was awarded his PhD degree in Food Nanotechnology from Department of Technology, Kuvempu University, Davangere, Karnataka. His area of expertise include identify the probiotic strains with the probiotic attributes, antimicrobial activity tests against foodborne pathogens, screening of aflatoxins, preparation of magnetic nanoparticles, preparation of gold nanoparticles, in vivo evaluation of selected lactic acid bacteria for the therapeutic applications. Some of his projects include preparation of prebiotic, probiotic, micro and nanoparticles for reducing toxicity in animal feeds, antioxidant property of pomegranate peel on human pathogenic bacteria, isolation of lactic acid bacteria and studies on probiotic properties. Dr. Adarsh Gowda attended and presented papers in various national and international conferences. His current interest in research include nanoencapsulation, anti-aging, nanomembranes for water purification, and nanoparticles for sensing. He published various articles in national and international journals. So with this introduction, it's my privilege to welcome you, sir, for the session.
Good evening, and thank you so much for the brief introduction. And let's share the slides. Okay, are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yes.
Yeah, fine. So good evening, everyone, and good evening for the young future students who can lead our country to the food science sectors. You know, when it comes to the food science, it is one of the vast area where without that people cannot imagine their life. But one thing we have to remember that whether what type of things we are consuming each and every day, whether it is a hygienic, whether it is a, so it is very important for the future is the food world. But for the students' career point of view, if you see this food science sector is a wonder area for the upcoming future. It is already a question mark for the young kids and youngster students where to go and where to do stand in the future. But there are still a question mark remains in their mind. If you choose this food science, whether our life will be settled after 5 years. But I think one thing you should remember that without this, you can't imagine your life, day-to-day life. You can see in the last 1 year, we are suffering from the COVID-19 and many things and all. But one thing which is still constantly we are consuming, that is food. So food is a very important part for the future also. But we need to make fine tuning in the technology oriented, where you connect the food science and nutrition and bring innovative products for the future. So in that point of view, let me go for next 20-25 minutes. I will try to interact with these young kids to how to like where you can stand with the future, whether this direction is right or wrong. Okay, the career and higher education prospect is in food science. One thing you have to tell, it is easier to change a man's religion than to change his diet. Each sector, each community has the particular diet. They may change the man's religion, but they won't change their diet. So there are a few legends with the living, and we missed Dr. Verghese Kurian a couple of years back, and the living legend MS Swaminathan. Their contribution is great to our country. They have done n number of things for the country. So one thing we have to remember, the food processing, how it will be advantage to the India. One, like this last 5 years, you can remember that there's a lot of drastic changes in the food processing sectors. One is there is strong demand growth. One is the food processing hub. Another one is the increasing investment. Another one is the policy support. This is the one of the greatest things which will be advantage for our country in the coming future. There's a demand for the processed food rising with the growing disposable income, urbanizations, and population and nuclear families. And when it comes to the food processing hub, India benefits from a large agriculture sector, abundant livestock and cost competitiveness. And when it comes to the increasing investment, the investment including FDI would be rise the strengthening demand and supply fundamentals. There are a lot of policy support which comes under the FDA schemes. So the food processing sectors comprises 6 major segments. There are 6 major segments with fruits and vegetables, milk, meat and poultry, marine products, grain processing and consumer food. You know, when it comes to the fruits and vegetables, India is the world's second largest producer of fruits and vegetables. When it comes to the milk, again, we are the leading in the milk productions in our country. So meat and poultry, India is the largest producer of buffalo meat and the second largest producer of goat milk and the second largest producer of egg producers. The marine products, total fish production in India is estimated at 13 metric ton during the 2015 and 16. It is increasing day by day. The grain processing, India produces more than 200 million tons of different food grains every year. The consumer food, among the fastest growing segments in India, it includes like packaging, aerated food, soft drinks, packaged drinking water, many more things. Why I'm telling these things, why this subject is so important, how this is changing the entire country. So this is what first you should know that why it is important, n number of opportunities lying in this area. So the food processing industry is one of the largest industry in India and ranks 5th in terms of production, consumptions and exports as per the estimated of financial year 15. The food processing should sold the university of 258 billion. One thing you have to remember that food processing industry constituted 14% of India's GDP through manufacturing. This is very important thing you should remember. The 14% of India's GDP through manufacturing. So when India offers the largest diversified production base from milk production, fruits and vegetables, cereals and grains, marine and again meat sectors. Then food processing is a key focus sectors for Make in India, valued at USD of 65 billion in 2015, and it present huge market opportunities reach to next level. So then here the value chain in food processing and major players. This is very important thing. See, you can remember inputs, production, procurement, storage, processing and retailing. It starts from the beginning, end with the retailing, but in between there are many things happens. It may be that there are two key activities in the major players. The major players are the very important for us. It may be the top companies or it may be a collaborated companies which will play a major role here. But if they want to grow, they need a good skilled students who are the graduated from the food science sectors. The company owner may be a part of the owner, but he will not aware of that background. They need someone who's skilled and completely knowledge in that sectors. So the food processing key contributors to employment generation in India, if the policymakers have identified that food processing has a key sectors in encouraging the labor movement from agriculture to manufacturing. By 2024, the food processing sector is expected to employ 9 million people in India. This project is expected to generate 8,000 direct to the 80,000, but due to COVID and all, slightly the numbers may vary due to COVID-19. Never we expected that things. So the notable trends in Indian food processing sector is that changing consumer taste and entry of the international companies and rising demand on the Indian products in the international markets, because there are many the foreign companies are investing to our country, the collaboration point of view. So rising demand on the Indian products in international markets. The exporters gaining from the rising global demand and local location advantages, because the growth in Indian product export has been aided by the significant improvements in product and packaging quality, the greater private sector participations. India has a location advantages. It is geographically close to the key export destination from Middle East to Southeast Asia. USA is the top destination for the processed products from India. Vietnam, Saudi Arabia, Iran and UAE are the other major destinations for the Indian exports. For food retail formats in India, when it comes to food retail, organized is 3%, unorganized is 97%. When it comes to the organized, you can connect with the supermarket, hypermarket, retailer, and many things. But when it comes to the unorganized, we are more dependent on general stores, kirana stores, convenience stores, or street markets. So evolving the business models in food processing, the products and the service. There are two sectors if you divide it. In the products point of view, it may be organic foods, ready to cook or ready to eat, or cold pressed juices, salads, functional drinks. When it comes to the service, like discovery services, delivery services, e-commerce services, and boxed meal services. So when it comes to the products, you can see the top company are leading in our country, like when it comes from MTR to the Godrej. In services like Zomato, Swiggy, and many more things, because we are daily dependent on them. So the Indian scenario, when it comes to the GDP, as I told in the previous slides, the food processing industry in India is the one of the largest industry in the terms of production, consumption, export, and expected growth. The financial year by 2020, the Indian food and retail market is projected to touch the USD of 482 billion. As I told, this graph has been slightly varied because of this COVID effect. So this food processing industry forms an important segment of the Indian economy in terms of contribution to the GDP, employment and investment, and will be the major driver in country's growth in near future. As I told, 14% in the GDP and 13% Indian processing industry accounts for the 13% of total exports, and the 6% of the Indian food processing industry accounts for 6% of the total industrial investments. So the value of the exports has steadily increased with an average annual growth rate of 20.53% for 5 years. That was ending in 2013-14, the old data. The values of the processed food exports was of order USD 37.7 billion and is projected to reach around USD of 100 by 2020. But slightly, again, I am telling that all these graphs slightly variation of the COVID-19. So I had, as I told in the previous, like the major export destination for India is Iran, Vietnam, USA, Saudi Arabia, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Indonesia, and in our Indian surroundings. So FDA, the foreign direct investment growth trend has been reached to next level. The foreign giant venture partnerships in India. It may be Indian subsidiary like Tata Global Beverages or company from the outside Starbucks. They club together to increase their business to the next level in our country. It is a great opportunity for and you will get the more employment, and that is the one of the very key factors for us for the future. Organic food, this is again one more sector, one more area which has been booming everywhere. People are more health conscious, they want to consume the organic, but still it's one question is whether we are consuming the right organic foods. That is very important part. So the consumers foods is that it may be growth drivers, growth potential, the product profile are the major players who play here to design the products. So the preferred investments destinations in India, there are some of the major states. It may be Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat. These are the one of the main major states where a lot of production is happening. One of the major companies you are able to identify. So, with all these things, one thing which what is all about food science then? Food science is connected to nutrition, food science is connected to the dietitian, food science is connected to the sports nutrition, food science is connected with the food science and technology, or it may be processing, engineering, many more things. So jobs in food science. The jobs in like you can be work in the product development sector area, or it may be quality assurance, safety control and inspections, research, it may be academia or industry, or safety or quality testing. One thing you have to remember, people will always eat, so there will always be jobs in food science. People won't stop eating. That you should remember. So food science is a part of multiple connecting subjects. It may be chemistry, engineering, mathematics, physics, biochemistry, microbiology or molecular biology. It is connected with n number of subjects because we need physics in certain area, we need microbiology in certain area, we need chemistry in certain areas. The main areas are, when it comes to the biology, it may be food safety, food microbiology. When it comes to the chemistry, food chemistry and food analysis. When it comes to the physics, food processing and food packaging. But what does a food scientist do then? A food scientist studies the physical, microbiological and chemical makeup of the food. The food scientist may also develop the ways to the process food, preserve food, packaging food or store food. There are certain myths. The myths about food science. Food science is not home economics. Food science is not only nutrition. Food science is not only cooking. There is behind that also. Why food science then? Why the food science? Why we should select this area? The food industry is the second largest manufacturing sector in the world. And it produces more than 600 billion in retail sales. It is increased. This is a old number. It will increase. Still the number is slightly changes for the present. There are generally more positions are available than the graduating student to fill them. So the USDA reports, that is 2005 and 2010, USDA, the United States of Department of Agriculture reports that between 5 and 10, the university will not graduate enough people with food agriculture and natural resources degrees to meet the demand. But now in these 10 years, a lot of universities have started the food science program. That is a good sign for the future, and we can bring the n number of talented students in these sectors. So most food science graduates experience 100% job placement by graduations or within the 6 months after graduation. because you can believe that this is my live example, believe that I am the live example, but I have seen that changes within 6 months. Many of students will graduate and they'll get the jobs within 6 months. That is what one thing I had same. And food service jobs that require the college degree. The dietitian is an expert in food and nutrition, maybe the registered dietitian. Nutritionist, a nutrition is a person who advises the people on the matters of nutrition. Or the dietitian and the nutritionists plan food and nutrition programs to supervise meal preparation and oversee the serving of the meals. They prevent and treat the illness by promoting the healthy eating habits and recommending the dietary modification. This is very important. Why, nowadays we see n number of the people, they quote themselves, we are dietitianists, we are nutritionists, but it is really a true? That is the biggest question mark. And requires a college degree and the additional certifications. Science related career, it may be agricultural engineering, agronomist, or a baking technician, biochemist, chemical engineering, culinary scientist, dietitian, farm product purchasing agent, farmer, flavor chemist, food scientist, and government agency administrator, microbiologist, nutritionist, packaging engineering, or plant manager, production inspector, research analyst, technical writer, politician, or university professor. You can see how much jobs are waiting for you, but you should be in the right direction to select the right position. That is very important. Getting the degree is not important. Where you start after 5 years is very important. The job prospect is, job growth among the food scientists should be the faster than the average for all occupations. Opportunities are expected to be a good over the next decades, particularly in the food science and technology. Let me go with one by one. The food science and technology, the bright future. We spend 14,256 hours in school between kindergarten and graduation. But one thing we should remember, if we cannot find the time for a student to have some choice in their learning, then what we are doing with all those hours is very important part. Career choices are life choices. Take them seriously, do it in a right way. As I told, food science is a multiple direction. It may be product development, food safety packaging, sensory evaluation, nutrition, sustainability. So when it comes to career in food science, after graduation, after higher education, now it is your choice where you want to stand tomorrow. You have to decide. Don't see left hand and right hand. You have to decide where I want to stand after 5 years. That's very important because you should build your career, not looking others. You should build the career. Whether you want to become a scientist, then you have to prepare from now only. For next 5 years, I'll go for the higher educations, doctor degree, and I'll publish some of the well-journal papers and try to prove myself I'm a good researcher. It may be either you want to go for the administrators, then you should have certain technical skills where you have to be fit in the administrator, or innovators, startup, or it may be entrepreneurs, or you have to look after the family business. That you have to decide. So area of specialization after BS degree, it may be industrial biotechnology, pharmaceutical biotechnology, or food or bioprocessing technology, or environmental biotechnology, or agricultural biotechnology, bioinformatics, biosensor, and nanotechnology. So you have to decide where you want to stand. But when it comes to the requirement or required education and training for the career in the food science industry, like PCMB, like where we initially start from the +2. But I think in some of the other states, they included food science as one of the paper in the PCMB also, PCMB or something. Like alternative courses are biotechnology, microbiology, biochemistry, organic chemistry, chemical processing engineering, or pharmaceutical science, or nutrition, dietitians. To have a career in R&D, research, or QC or QA, you will require higher degree. I mean, master's or PhD, you can gain more advantage by pursuing the higher degree from abroad. If you are more inclined towards the sales and marketing, the product or a brand management role, then MBA will be the very helpful. But MBA, not a regular MBA. We have a separate like MBA in food and agriculture, MBA in food business. MBA in food business is there in Bangalore only, in NDRI. You can communicate with them. So career opportunities, who can you work for? As I told you, food processor, food industry, research institutes, academia, or teaching institutes, self-employment, or as a consultant, government or non-government organization, food service organization, or testing laboratory. So one thing you have to remember, science and technology, which will play an increasing role in the food science and engineering. How the molecular biology and biotechnology will impact food safety, new ingredients, functional foods, identification of biomarkers for disease prevention and others, the identification of human genome or food gene interaction or genomic science, regulations of biochemical process in human body with food, genes responsible for the disease and taste perceptions for obesity, and the regulations with food, information technologies and the web are with the chemistry and computational chemistry will impact the ingredients, functionality or food ingredient, or new structures identification like technologies and structures manipulation in probing technology like nanotechnology, or computational science will impact the design of food processing or the novel food preservation technologies which will multiple the source of energy and in particularly hybrid food technologies. Trust in areas in the food science department, it may be food biology, food chemistry and food engineering. So what do we expect from food as we move into the future? One is the safe, increasing the healthfulness and prevent the diseases. Food should be delivered to the specific genomic targets and be designed for the changing demographics. Our population, increasing children population, improving the performance, convenience with the high quality, are culturally more diverse, are designed for the supermarkets like restaurant and institutions, and minimal processed ready to eat. I had skipped few of them because I want to cover other slides also. Like what do food scientists do? They increase the value of two key industry. They give design, they give the new structure or new character to any food products. That is the magic of the food scientists who involve themselves to design the product to the next level. So how do we become a food scientist? As I told you, go for the higher education or you have to participate in internships with the companies to gain the hands-on experience. Some job profiles include in food technology like production or operations, QA or QC departments, R&D like new product development or process development, or marketing and sales, business development and marketing analysis, or procurement or supply chain management. So 5 reasons why one should choose food science and technology. One is jobs security, a diverse environment, and salary possibilities. Because a degree in food science offers many opportunities to earn the top salaries with a good growth rate. So there are job opportunities even in the government sector in India. One is the Food Corporation of India. Every year they come up with there is a call for this one, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, or Bureau of Indian Standards, or Ministry of Agriculture, or Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Food Processing Industry, or NABARD and many other BARC and all, state and central food laboratories, state government, food safety officer, or food inspectors, CFTRI, ISCPT, or DFRL, NEFTM, scientists or assistant professor, even the professor also, ICAR as a ARS scientist and all. So some of the top recruiting food science industries are, as the scope of food technology in India is growing, industry are hiring the professionals from all around the country. Some of the top recruiters are MTR, Amul, Dabur, PepsiCo, Britannia, Nestle, ITC, or maybe Agrotech Foods, or Parley Products, ITC Limited, Cadbury India, or Industry, Hindustan Liver Limited, some of the milk industry, MTR, Nestle. So, but if you want to fit in these companies, you need to bring that quality in you. Getting a degree is not enough. After the degree, what are the qualifications? How good enough you are in that background? Because company will pay the salary. Simply they are not hiring. If they're giving the salary, they will expect something from us also. So the presence of the technical educational institutes, you can go through this in Karnataka, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Manipur, UP, Uttaranchal, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana. So you can see n number of influencers have come up with this n number of food science programs. So top academic and research institute in India are CFTRI, National Institute of Food Technology and Entrepreneurship and Management, NEFTM, that is in Haryana, CFT in Mysore, Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology, Tanjavuru, our National Food Biotechnology Institute, Punjab, our Food and Drug Toxicology Research Center in Lucknow, National Institute of Nutrition in Hyderabad, Indian Institute of Toxical Research in Lucknow, and Indian Agriculture Research Institute, Delhi, and the Department of Food Science and Technology, Pondicherry University, or ISER, Baba Atomic Research Center, Pune, IISc Bangalore. Even should remember, even IISc is initiating with the food program. This is just they had started 1 year back. They are initiating now. They also want to involve in the food science area. This is a good sign for us. And the National Dairy Research Institute, or Department of Food Science and Nutrition, SNDT Human University, Pune. Amrita University, our Center for Food Science and Technology, our School of Life Science, JNU Delhi, our Faculty of Food Safety and Quality, Central Institute of Food, Post Harvesting Engineering and Technology, Indian Veterinary Research Institute, Delhi. So there are many more things, like I'll go for the next slide. So now career in, that was the one side, that is the food science and technology. Career in food science, dietitians or dietetics and nutrition, who will you hire and what will you do for a living? So career in food and nutrition, the opportunities in the food industry. Sometimes people think that whether we are nutritionists or the part of the food industry, definitely. You can also be part of the food industry also. That is nutrition and dietetics a promising career option for us. So one thing what so the people grapple with the questions such as, is a nutritionist a good job? Is a nutrition and dietetics is a good career? Is a dietitian a good career, or is a nutritionist a good career? People always questions, but in India there is more. At the top of the food service industry ladder, dietitians have completed a 4 years education and are fully registered within the state where they practice. While any person might proclaim that they are the nutrition counselor, a dietitian is the only fully trained professional in this area. A bona fide nutritional counselor works under the report directly to a registered dietitian. A dietitian may be hired as a staff members in public and private hospitals, acute care facilities, intermediate care facilities, long-term care facilities, or assisted living facilities, or retirement centers, correctional like schools, dialysis center, wellness facilities, or community organization center, even in the colleges. So nutrition and dietetics jobs required a specialized and customized service for patients and clients. Therefore, the question of is nutrition and dietetics a good career option? A dietitian's salary in India is quite high when one has achieved a high performance and excellence in the field. Certified nutrition specialist, clinical dietitian, dietetic technicians, or health coach, health educator, community health workers, holistic nutritionists, licensed nutritionists, nutrition specialists, registered dietitians, or registered nurses, or rehabilitation counselors, or sports nutritionists. So the graduated with the BS in nutrition with or without an RDA research and development is qualified to work in a number of areas such as food service management, public policy, food safety, government regulations, culinary science, sustainable nutrition, health and wellness, business and entrepreneurial management. So here, experienced dietitians and nutritionists may advance to management positions such as assistant director or director of dietetic departments, or may become self-employed. They may also specialize in diabetic, renal, pediatric, or cardiovascular disease. Recently I was saying something in India. We need to go for the geriatric and pediatric nutrition. We have to take to the next level. You know why? Because that is very important, especially the geriatric nutrition. Reason, we are, when it comes to 60 plus, we see more like India. We have the old age. If you see, there are a lot of diseases, and the mortality rate is high compared to any country. our country. So we need to give the special concentration on the geriatric nutrition, especially on the old age people. So the higher education, many require the college degrees. Dietitians, nutritionists is nothing but study and apply the nutrition principles in the food management. The nutritionists study how the body uses the food and employed in schools, hospitals, public agencies. Many have 4 years and graduate degrees. Not all dietitians work in institutions. Many are even in the private practice. That is your personal interest. They may be hired to provide the nutritional advice to the professional athletes, lecture to clubs and organizations, and consulted with the food companies in developing the new products. Various specialized
Excuse me,
areas
sir.
are, hello? Yes?
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. I
Yeah.
just wanted to tell you that, kind of crossed the time a little bit. So
Yeah,
would
yeah.
you be
Okay,
speaking?
I will go up with cover with a few more slides.
And there is an echo also. Echo is happening. Kindly, can you control echo?
Fine. Okay. Now is it okay? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Various specialized areas in dietetics, the career opportunity, it may be government sector, sports and health care, teaching and research and development, mass media, private consultant or practitioner. So the salary, again, entry level of salary varies from 10,000 to 25,000 rupees per month as per the abilities and experience. Top position salaries varies from rupees 25,000 to 90,000 per month, depending on your qualification, position held, experience, and location. The job prospects are good and are expected to grow in the line with the average job. The best nutrition courses in India are Diploma in Diet Assistance and Diploma in Nutrition and Dietetics, Diploma in Nutrition and Health Education, BSc in Nutrition and Dietetics, BSc in Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics, PGDM in Dietetics and Applied Nutrition, PG Diploma in Dietetics or PG Diploma in Dietetics and Public Health, MSc in Nutrition and Dietetics, even MSc in Nutrition and Fitness is one more area I'm telling, MSc in Clinical Nutrition, and one more, this is really important, booming nowadays, MSc in Sports Nutrition. When it comes to the sport nutrition, sports is one of the very important, like one of the highly demand area in our country. Start your new career with the sports nutritional specialist. So if you want to be look like an athletic, you have to train like an athletic, but everyone is athletic, only some of us are not in the right nutrition diet. So that's one thing. So sports nutrition,
So,
yeah.
so would this be the last?
This will be last. I will skip this because sports nutrition, I will try to tell few of the slides, because sports nutrition is the one more area which should be known to the students.
Sure.
And it will, yeah. Sports nutrition, the nutrition will support the body ability to respond, they will adapt to the physical challenge. Or sports nutrition is the young field, knowledge base, it is continually expanding and understanding the evolves and research is done. The athlete must use the genetics training and nutrition to their advantage in order to achieve the success. So one of the things, like there are a number of courses has been there in the PG courses, like MSc Sports Nutrition, where you can fit to be a part of that. After completion of BSc Nutrition or BSc Nutrition Dietetics, even you can pursue the MSc Sports Nutrition, because a number of jobs are waiting over there for you guys, and that is very important. We need, because many of people are telling we are on like part of the sports nutrition, we are trained with the sports nutrition, but how many people are well trained, even I don't know, even we are not aware of that things, because we need expertise people should come in this field and support the future generation of our country to the well knowledge and all. So this is what few things, and thank you so much for giving your patience to part of this my talk, and any questions? Hello?
There are a number of questions, but probably we can take one question and the others
You will ask
we will get back Yes, we will get back to the
I was
participants.
not able to because I thought because of the time and all, like I need to expand of sports nutrition part, because that was very one part people should, like students should understand. This area is really booming. If someone want to pursue their degree or to go for this field, and really lot of jobs were waiting over there, and India is also supporting in that sector also. Yes.
Sir, we'll take one question.
Yeah.
There is a participant who is asking, what is the difference between courses with food science and nutrition and clinical nutrition and dietetics?
Okay.
At the PG level. Sorry,
PG,
at the yes, at the PG level. Sorry.
PG, like PG or UG level? Hello, I didn't get you
Yes,
the
sir.
question. PG or UG level?
PG level, sir.
PG level. Okay.
Postgraduate level.
The first one is the food and nutrition. No, MS in food and nutrition, and another one is MS in food and
Food
nutrition.
science and nutrition, and the
Yeah.
other is clinical nutrition and dietetics.
See, one thing you have to remember, like when you consume something, if you don't know something about what you consume, what are the nutritions we are gaining from that one, then that is like if you want a very simple concept, when you climb the bus, we want to go reach to one destiny, and we will read the board, and we will reach to that point in that way. There is a conductor and all. The same thing when you consume something, if you don't know what you are consuming, so people who do the nutrition, food and nutrition, they will know something about the nutrition qualities, their phytochemical properties, and their health benefits, how it will be benefited for the in the human body and all. That is what how it will go. But dietitian is something where it will be connected to the part of the things which will be help in the health conscious and all. Yes. Hello.
I have, Michelle have something to say. Dr. Adesh,
Yes, madam.
when if students have doubts or if they want to know more about sports nutrition, can they write to you? Your
Yeah.
email is here.
Yes. Because why,
Yes.
madam? Because why?
Because
Give me some 2 minutes, 1 minute, please. That sports nutrition is very important because what happened now? N number of people that we see in most of the metro cities. We see the most of the gyms and even the coaches and all. But still, I'm not happy with the things whether these people are giving the right direction to the youngsters. People will go for the one small example. The youngsters, they go for gym and all. They consume the protein powder, whey protein and all. But still, we have, if you go on testing them, you'll get n number of steroids on that on. But these youngsters will end up with the one thing, whether the paralysis or something neurological disorder, somewhere they'll end up one day. Now we need well-trained sports nutritionist people who can train our country with the athletics, who can represent our country. This area is a very wonder area because I know about this anti-doping and one thing like that is a sector where the youngsters should see.
yeah, I know that. Really, it is a booming area, as you said. So, because of paucity of time, we will ask our youngsters, the students, if they have any doubts, they can
Yeah.
write to you and find out more about it.
Yes.
Dr. Adarsh Gowda, thank you so very much for the details, all of the details that you have shared with our participants. Yes, there are many questions. You have ignited quite a fire in their minds. So thank you so very much for that. Moving forward to the next exciting area of textiles and apparel design, my colleague, Ms. Swati Reddy, who reflects her passion for textiles and apparel design, will now introduce the charming and conscientious Dr. Bhagyalakshmi.
Thank you, Michelle. Uh, Good evening, everyone. It's a privilege for me to introduce my dear teacher, Dr. Bhagya Lakshmi, today. She is the Associate Professor and the Head of the Department of Textiles and Clothing, Avinashlingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, Coimbatore. She has 23 years of experience in the teaching field and has guided several MSc, MPhil, and PhD students, of which I am also one. And she has worked for several projects which as course coordinator for UGC sponsored add-on career-oriented certificate course in surface embellishment on fabric for 5 years, co-principal investigator, UGC sponsored project on production of courseware e-content development for PG subjects, food and nutrition, and principal investigator for UGC sponsored project on recycling of textile agro waste and into making it into handmade papers. And she is a member of board of studies for about 14 educational institutions within Tamil Nadu and outside of Tamil Nadu also. Madam has been the core committee member in organizing several seminars and conferences and has also published several research papers in reputed journals. Without any delay, I extend my warm welcome to you, Dr. Bhagya ma'am. Kindly take over. Thank you.
Thank you for Swati for the nice introduction. Respected Dr. Shanta Maria ma'am, Dr. Sundaravali ma'am, I'm so delighted to join with you to deliver a small lecture about the career options in the field of textiles and fashion. Is the slide visible, ma'am? Swati?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
It's visible.
So,
Can you? Yeah. Is it in?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Shall I start, ma'am? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, Dr.
Yeah.
Bhagya.
Okay. Without much delay, I would like to end up with a brief lecture because the time is up. So I'm going to talk about the career options in the field of textiles and fashion. If you study home science at undergraduate level, if you're a home science graduate, each and every course in the home science has a scope, whether it is a nutrition or a human development extension. If you see the course content, each and every course, that is each paper, will give you a career option. So if you see the textiles and clothing sector, according to the Indian Brand Equity Foundation, the close linkage of the textile industry to agriculture, the ancient culture and traditions of the country in terms of textiles, make the Indian textile sector unique in comparison to the industries of other countries. So it is estimated that around $108 billion business and expected to reach $223 billion by 2021. So the Indian textiles and clothing sector employs over 45 million people directly to 60 million people indirectly. It contributes approximately 5% to India's GDP and 14% to overall index of industrial production. So it is the one of the largest contributor to the export with approximately 13.5% of total export amounting $42.24 billion. So India, if you take India's apparel market, it will be worth 59.3 billion in 2020, and it's making it the 6th largest in the world. So more than 300 international fashion brands are expected to open stores in India in the next 2 years. In short, the India market offers great promise. So when you see this growth, there is a huge opportunity for the youngsters, those who take up textiles and fashion as a core subject. So if you take apparel and fashion design or textile design graduate or a home science graduate, so after home science, BSc home science, you can take up any PG program or any certificate program or diploma program, or you can work as an intern in a very big firm or a boutique or anything, whichever field you like, you end up with any one of these career. So right from mill, retail brand, craft sector, media, export house, buying house, design studios, entrepreneur, online stores, and global brand. So I'm not going detail into this. We'll see one by one. There are umpteen number of opportunities for the textiles and fashion graduates. So since we are in a teaching profession, we'll start with the teaching profession. So if you take up MSc, PG in textiles and clothing or textiles and fashion apparel, or any course related to textiles and clothing, you can end up in a teaching profession after finishing your NET examination. You can become a researcher. Then later, you can become a costume designer if you want to become, then fashion stylist, CAD designer, and merchandiser. So these are all the opportunities available for you. So if you take up teaching profession right from schools, institutes to colleges and universities, you can be a subject expert, a teacher, a guest lecturer, assistant professors. Later you can become an associate professor and emeritus. And for all these things, right from PG to PhD is a must. So if you want to become a researcher, you can end up as a scientist. You can take projects, apply and get projects from government and private bodies. You can work with research associations, and you can work in textile testing laboratories as quality controllers. So to become a quality researcher, you should have an analytical mind, and you should have an intelligence and curiosity to find something. You should be a quick thinker, and you should have an excellent written skills and then communication skills. So we'll start off with the next.
Dr. Bhagya, your audio is fine. Swati?
Bhagya ma'am,
Option is the costume designer.
Bhagya ma'am, we are not able to hear you.
I think she is not in the meeting now. She is disconnected.
Give me a few minutes, people. I'll just try connecting with Bhagya ma'am.
You'll call her Swati?
Calling ma'am, calling.
Yeah.
A bit of network issues. She will be back soon.
Vali ma'am.
Michelle?
Ma'am, should we continue with the next speaker and
Give
then
2
with
minutes,
ma'am?
Michelle. I mean,
Sure.
now it's 5:34. We will wait
Sure.
till 5:30, 5:36. Okay.
Okay.
Meanwhile, just connect with her and see the status now. If it's going to
And
take
just
time, we can always get back.
no. Just now, Swati has spoken to her. She said she'll be back. That's what she said. Just 2 minutes. We will see. If not, we will move on.
I just spoke to ma'am.
Ah,
Ma'am has told that she will rejoin since everything is still on her screen. She said she will rejoin the meeting.
fine.
Madam has messaged that she will be joining us in 2 minutes. Thank you all for your patience. Bhagya ma'am, your slides are visible. You're
Yeah.
on mute.
Kindly unmute. Dr. Bhagya,
Bhagya
unmute
ma'am.
yourself. Audio unmute.
Bhagya ma'am, you're on mute. Kindly unmute yourself.
Cheat. No, no, what to do. Maybe I'll write date and I'll close it, please. Bad.
Hello. Unmute பண்ணுங்க. ஆமா.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
we
you're
can
audible.
Yes, okay. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry for the.
Go on, Bhagya ma'am. We're eagerly waiting for you. Go on. Continue.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, are you talking? We are not able to hear you.
Yes, yes, yes. Swati,
Yes, ma'am.
again, something has happened. You just ask the next speaker to continue.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
I'll continue.
We'll
Okay.
do that, ma'am. Yeah.
Sorry for the.
No problem.
Okay. So
Michelle?
moving ahead, coming to the area which takes all the subjects into the community, Mrs. Dorothy Anthony, our meticulous extension education and communication professional, will introduce over to you, to Dorothy.
Thank you, Michelle. Hello, everyone, and a very good warm welcome to each one of you. Extension education is an applied behavioral science, the knowledge of which is applied to bring about desirable changes in the complex of human beings through various strategies and innovations. When this concept of extension education is put into action for educating people, that is when our journey of an extensionist begins. With this note, I am very much pleased to introduce to you my beloved friend, Dr. Sitara Balan. Dr. Sitara is a teacher by profession and a compassionate learner who believes that every individual entrusted to you is a gift to relearn and unlearn the lessons learned. She has been serving in the Department of Home Science, Government College for Women, Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, from the year 2013 onwards. Dr. Sitara has conducted various projects and planned and implemented across multiple teams. She has created functional and technical application documents. Dr. Sitara has had a PhD in Home Science from the University of Kerala. She has various research articles and edited various books. Dr. Sitara has written chapters in different extension education textbooks. She has been an e-content developer in Swayam. And I also would like to let you all know that she has been awarded as Young Scientist Award from Indian Society of Extension Education. With these brief information about my friend Dr. Sitara Balan, I extend my warm welcome to Dr. Sitara. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Respected Dr. Shanta Maria Madam, Dr. Sundravalli Madam, and all other colleagues and friends of Mount Carmel College, Bangalore, and all those who are in this meeting today. First of all, let me thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts and my journey of an extensionist to the students of those who are present here today. So, I'm trying to share the screen. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Dr. Sitara.
Okay. So for the last couple of hours, we all are witnessing and we all are listening to the eminent speakers about the tremendous opportunities of the various branches of home science, and it is indeed privilege for all of us to be home scientists. So coming to the last but not the least branch of home science extension, I'll be starting my journey through a roadmap by understanding extension, the thrust areas in extension, the way forward, and the opportunities we have for the postgraduates in extension. When you talk about extension to a student of BSc Home Science or a BA Home Science during the final years of a degree course, the first thing that comes to the mind, or the first thing that we used to hear from them, is that extension is a dry subject. And I should say, extension is a program that is designed to extend the application of home science knowledge and allied disciplines to the family and community with professional experience. And it is considered to be the mother of all the sciences. A mother cannot be dry in a home. So the subject itself cannot be a dry subject unless and until it is not multidisciplinary in nature. Yes, it is exactly multidisciplinary in nature, like all the other branches of home science, because It emphasizes skill enhancement in developmental planning and communication through a balanced combination of academic and training inputs. So the emphasis for a postgraduate or the curriculum of a postgraduate course on extension is on preparing professionals for working with and for the people and developing media relevant to strengthen the extension services for the community as well as the country. There is always a mishap happening to the extension professionals across the globe is that anybody can teach extension and anybody can work in the community. If it is true, then my question to my students is, can all the doctors can do surgery? Can all the surgeons can perform a heart operation? We need specialists. We cannot do that. That is why extension stands unique when it comes to community work. And there is always a lullaby that we used to hear about extension is that it is not a science. If it is not a science, how come it can be the mother of all the sciences? Because it deals with the dissemination of scientific knowledge, the basic facts, not about the raw. We are not talking about any scientific jargons. We are just talking about the basic knowledge which are essential for daily living. For example, I can quote you an example. During the the initial outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have witnessed the flow of messages in social media, whether it be related to the number of cases or the mode of spread, whatnot, even the origin of the coronavirus. There were n number of fake messages than when compared to the real messages. So, the role of an extension worker or an extensionist is to help people with evidence based knowledge so that they can manage the disaster or cope up with the situation without any stress, which will ultimately improve their quality of life. There is always confusions in the nomenclature when it comes to extension. Somewhere it is treated as extension education, but unfortunately it is no longer being an education because it is a part and parcel of the system. It has transformed from this educational system to a field of study which focus on more on development communication, media, etc. So another question is whether there is similarity or dissimilarity with social work. When you talk about MSW, as I would like to always quote Dr. Surya Rathur, the principal scientist of NAM, that she used to comment that social work people and extension people both do extension activities for the community. But when it comes to MSW, they find solution to the people or the problem, they find solution to the problems of the community and they solve it immediately. But when it comes to an extension worker, they assist the people to empower themselves and to find the solution to each problem within themselves. So that is a basic difference between an extension worker and a social worker. And it is true that there is lack of qualified personnel and lack of associations and industry linkage and exposures are also there in extension. And another thing is it is meant for the rural people and agriculture alone. The fact is India, even in 2021, is still 75 to 80% of the population are on the rural sectors and are considered to be on working on the or totally depending upon agriculture and allied sectors. So the largest share or the chunk of the population of the country who are dependent on agriculture, yes, exactly, they need betterment in their quality of life and their standard of living. That is why it is mainly focusing on the rural people and agriculture. But the people in the urban slums or even in the urban area or those inside the four walls of the flats are not an
Excuse me,
extension.
Sitara ma'am, 1 second.
Yes.
Your slides are not changing. Can you?
No, I
Yeah.
didn't change the slide
Yes,
yet.
yes, yes. We are still in the second slide. Currently it is the roadmap slide which is visible.
Oh, it got changed.
No, I changed. Now only I changed, ma'am.
Yeah, now it is in what is extension? Yes.
Yeah,
No,
just now
it
only I
was
changed.
okay. It was
Okay.
okay.
Okay. So what is extension? Extension, by undertaking a course in extension education, the learners are expected to improve the capabilities required to strengthen their abilities for widening their existing knowledge and skills, which I would like to quote again and again, that the knowledge and skills, and gaining new knowledge and skills, attitudes, understanding, and core values essential in the field of community outreach engagements. So, a person who is graduating with the basics of extension is expected to develop disciplinary knowledge skills, effective communication skills, critical thinking, problem solving, analytical and logical reasoning, research and scientific temperament, ethics, reflective thinking, digital literacy, leadership skills, self directive learning, and lifelong learning. All these are considered to be the 21st century learning skills. Whether you be in food and nutrition, or in HD, or in textiles, or in extension, you need to develop all these skills in order to survive yourself in the 21st century world. No matter what profession or what background that you opt or choose for your higher studies. So earlier there was a lot of apprehensions about extension, like extension was only meant to learn about rural development programs and the history of extension. It has changed. Demography, which is very important, we need to know the population, we need to know the pulse of the population, how, what is the prevalence of the people in each category, how they are affected, what are the indicators of development. Everything has to be known in order to work in the community. And gender, when we talk about women empowerment, we need to think that there are other genders in the community as well. It's not only the women, but the other genders are also there. So we need to consider, there is an interesting fact when I talk about gender studies. What about home science? Even in 21st century, we are women oriented, at least to majority of the places. So we need to break the rules. We need to change the stereotypes. We need to focus on all the population, irrespective of the gender. So gender studies plays a significant role in extension. Coming to NGO management, yes, of course, NGO plays a crucial role in the development of the community, as well as bridging the gap between the community needs and the policy makers. For that, media is also highly influential. So working in medias also will help an extension worker or a professional to communicate with the community. And so development communication is very essential for changing the behavioral changes of the community. And like all the other branches, we need to have develop, we need to find our own job opportunities, so that the government cannot give job for all the people. So we need to find our own solutions, we need to find our own opportunities, and entrepreneurship development, this has come an integral part in extension. Another question is, are you coming to the MSc extension program, or are you choosing the extension specialization? Uh, is it a passion driven one, or your choice is due to forced one? If it is a forced one, I'm so sorry, you are not fit into the shoes of an extensionist. Though I highly recommend those who are really passion driven and who really have the empathy to work with the community need only have to take the course on extension, because ultimately you need to have a passion to the community and the development of the community. Then only you can think critically, and you can plan and execute programs, policies, and interventions for the community. And as I said earlier, skilling is very important. Advocacy, you need to be an advocate who can take the activities at the government levels. Then only you can bring desirable changes among the people. And you need to have a vision about the target group with whom you are working. It's not a target that you're talking about, like I'm getting 45,000 at the end of the month, or I need to clear the target to get 25,000. It's about how you see the community, how passionate are you to change the life of the people, whether they are, if you, for example, if you take the cases of women working in unorganized sectors, they have lot of problems. Even women in the organized sector, like women like me, we have lot of work life balance issues. We should admit the fact that we should have a lot of work life balance issues. And how come we can compete those issues? And a woman in the unorganized sector, or a woman in a tribal area, or in an urban slum, what about their menstrual hygiene, the reproductive health practices? There is an interesting fact which I would like to share. Like, if you go to a community and ask the women about their reproductive health, I'm sure 95% of them are ignorant, totally ignorant about the facts. The government of India is announcing n number of developmental projects day by day. And how many of you, being in a very prestigious autonomous institution in the heart of the Bangalore city, sitting and studying home science, how many of you are aware of those programs and policies? Are you aware about the legal basic rights that you have as a woman, as a gender? So you should have a passion and a vision to work towards community. And for all these things, you need to have communication. When I talk about communication, it's not about an English which is very fluent and very comprehensive. You need to have communication skills even at your mother tongue, which can be very clear and simple. How to hone your skills to work as an extensionist? See, when you are at your graduate level or at your postgraduate level, you have immense opportunities to learn many things. You have workshops, seminars, now we have webinars, training programs, and all. When we go and tell the students that a webinar is coming on the next month about this particular thing, students usually go and attend the webinar for the sake of the teachers, or for because of their admiration or their fear towards that particular teacher. But you need to know one thing, that when you attend 10 number of webinars, or when you attend 10 number of training session, you will learn at least half of the skill. So skilling is very important. It can be interpersonal skills, communication skills, negotiation skills, and the most important skill that a home scientist should have is to market herself. She should have sufficient knowledge to market herself, and for that she need to have a SWOT analysis about her own strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. You need to, after going back to home, please take a piece of paper and write your own strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. And when it comes to opportunities and threat, please discuss that points with your family members, your parents, or your mother at least, and see how you can convert them, or is there any possibility for you to convert that into a strength or an opportunity. And interventions, you need not have to be an extension postgraduate to work for the community. Even if you have a basic knowledge in extension or an understanding in extension, you can start creating intervention programs. It can be small social impact programs at your undergraduate levels. Try for small 20 group projects, then bring it as a project for a 50 population, and expand your horizons. Internships, yes, it is very essential. It is not only requisite or a prerequisite for completing a particular course, but I strongly recommend all the students to avail maximum number of internships in all the areas of their interest. By taking internships, if you go to foreign countries like US, Canada, UK, you can see that internships and voluntary service are mandatory for, right from the schools. So that will give a sort of skills to the skilling to the students to work with the community and to know the people. Self-development, as said by the earlier speakers, is very important. Peer interactions and collaborations. I will give you some examples at the end of this presentation on what are the benefits of peer interactions and collaborations. Job opportunities, as many of you might be knowing, like NGOs plays a crucial role in shaping the career of an extension professionals. We have, and right now, when you talk about career opportunities and NGOs, even 3 to 5 students who have a same interest or who have homogeneous goals can think about starting up of an NGO. And the only thing is your NGOs should have be in compact with the sustainable development goals of the UN. And it should also meet the demands of the National Skill Development Agency, NSDA. So go to these websites and see how you can work on these areas and where your skill stands on. Not everyone can be scientist, but you can be an extensionist. You can be an extension scientist also. So we have 21st century opportunities rather than the traditional job opportunities, which I'm not going to mention here. We have gender consultants who can work on all the projects and policies of the state governments and central governments. Communication for development advocates. Even a couple of weeks back, UNICEF has called for C4D advocates who have proficiency in extension activities and community development engagements and have post graduation on that. Behavior change communication specialist is one of the key roles of the extension professionals. They can share, they can work with qualified and registered dietitians to and they can assist them in developing contents and messages for working with the community as health communicators and nutrition and health educators. When I talk about health communicators or nutrition educators, please don't think that it is equivalent to dietitian or nutritionist. You cannot be equalized with a nutritionist or a dietitianist, where your role will be specifically on designing or creating contents for creating awareness to the community on health, various health parameters. Community development strategies. 2 days back, WHO has called for community development strategies and specialists and consultants, subject matter specialists, trainers in various training centers, including NIRDPR, Manage, and similar training centers. If you have additional certificates, you can be menstrual hygiene trainers, geriatric consultants, child and women activists, social entrepreneurial ventures, setting up of NGOs, and you can also act as consultants for NGOs on the funding opportunities and also giving them training and support on various areas related to the sustainable development. Creative content designers are some of the new norms in extension. Game designers for community engagement, which I will come later. Social and livelihood trainers are some of the tremendous opportunity. If you ask me, like, or if somebody comes with a post graduation in a MSc extension from any part of the country or the world, and they tells me that they don't have an opportunity to work or they didn't get a job, I should have 2 points to them. One, either they don't have sufficient skilling to market themselves. Two, they don't know how to search for a job. We have international and national fellowships nowadays available to the graduate students who can avail fellowships with the with basic requirements like creating a good CV along with a statement of purpose, identifying a host institute, and working with a great mentor. So these are some of the advertisements that came recently. SBI is calling for Youth for India. It's a 13-month long fellowship program meant for the India's rural development. So will you stand for the rural India? That was their slogan. Journalism internships, mass communication internships, junior research communication specialist in various organizations, planning officers, all these demands for extension professionals. And when I come back to the games and the collaborative activities which I mentioned, we, the Department of Home Science, Government College for Women, Trivandrum, Kerala, had a collaborative activity with the Lady Department of Extension and Communication of Lady Evan College, New Delhi. And we together designed, the students and the teachers of the Extension Department of both the colleges sat together. We spent hours and we designed various games. thanks to Dr. Abarna Khanna and her team for creating the vibe. Our students, they designed various games for the corona pandemic to create awareness on about COVID-19 to various age groups, right from 6 years onwards. So these games can create a lot of awareness on the mindset of the people. And you know, a training program or an awareness program on a week or a 10-day program or a tribal camp or a rural camp of 1 month will not be the change agent for the community. It should be on a sustainable basis. And these are the government initiatives that our students had with the Women and Child Department of Government of Kerala. Similarly, you can associate with the Women and Child Department of the Ministry of Karnataka as well. So these are related. I'm sorry that this is in Malayalam, but these are related to the violence and teaching. So these all these months to 2021 has been taken as the year for creating awareness to women about their basic rights. So these are the first images about two children talking about their basic issues in their home, about their parents' issues and about their gender identities and all. And they were asking about whom to approach for a help, and we are talking about 1091. So see how we can communicate and create awareness about those. So these are the these are the pamphlets that we created for the students, and this is for the rural women that we created, like how to move away from the domestic violence. So similarly, we had created some 50 to 90 numbers of posters and content for the women and child, which is being widely circulated by the department in social media platforms and also as educational trolls. And the take home message to my dear students is start collaborating with the stakeholders. The stakeholders can be your neighboring institutes, your friends from other departments, from other colleges, um, NGOs, neighboring NGOs, and the residents association, even the residents association. Please go to the community. At least when you get an opportunity, please go to your panchayat and attend one Gram Sabha to know the pulse of the community. Undertake intervention programs. As I said, socially relevant projects can be taken at the undergraduate level. Publish your findings, which is very important, unless that you will perish. Improve your skills, identify your SWOT analysis, set targets both long term and short term, and start working with NGOs right from your graduation so that you will hone the skills of knowing and understanding the people. Thank you. I would be happy to take some questions if you have.
Participants, kindly post your questions. Any questions?
I just want to ask, how can we associate as a small department with the Department of Women and WC, Women and Child Welfare? Like we have our own academic work and our own targets, and we don't have a PG department. If Dr. Sudhara could enlighten us, it will be good.
Ma'am, if you have faculty with extension background, you can very much coordinate the activities of women and child. There must be a person who is known as a gender advisor for the department. You can collaborate with them and you can give a proposal on what are the areas that you can work on, where are the areas you can give your inputs as a professional. So you can, what we did is, we prepared a proposal and we submitted to the department, and they had a discussion and a meeting over, and we were invited for the program. So you can prepare a proposal showing your strength and your areas of expertise, clubbing with the activities that your women and child department of your particular state is working on. So you can threshold the areas and you can help them that these are the areas where we can assist you in strengthening your programs and policies.
Do they give us any kind of fund, ma'am?
Funding actually, lots of lakhs of rupees is being wasted by all the ministries in terms of research and development. None of us are giving any proposals to these ministries for getting any works to be done. So if your proposal is in par with or at par with the policies and programs of the department and it will help them, definitely you will get the fund. You can send your students for the internships. You can have collaborative works. You can host programs which they are conducting.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Sitara, for letting our students know that extension is about lifelong learning to survive in this 21st century, and also for clearing a lot of apprehensions in extension. Also, I thank you for sharing and making them aware about job opportunities. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again.
Thank you. A special thanks to Dorothy for giving me the invite also. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sitara. And
Please stay
thank you,
connected
Dorothy.
in future, so don't leave Sitara. Stay connected, okay?
Yeah, sure, ma'am, sure.
Swati, is Bhagya ma'am?
Yes, she's here.
Yes.
Ma'am, is the screen on?
Welcome back, Bhagya
Yes,
ma'am.
it's visible.
Yeah,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
see the screen, ma'am?
Yes, we can see
Visible,
the
ma'am.
screen.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Have a poor network here, ma'am. Okay.
No
So
issues. We understand.
Okay.
You can
So I'll
continue.
start.
Yeah, very
Okay, I'll start off with textile designers. Opportunity as a textile designer. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Yes,
clear.
you can.
Okay. So, does the textile designers involves in designing of yarns and fabrics that are used both in apparel and interior design. So, textile designer find a suitable job in an apparel and interior sector, home textile industry also, if they have a very good eye for or taste for textile designing. They should focus on designing the furnishings and tapestries for an interior. The qualities of a textile designer should be an artistic with a creative mind, and the person should have a love of fashion and good eye for color and very good understanding about the garments and their construction, and then the construction of interior textiles too. Then they should have, apart from that, a person should have a technical skills, computer aided skills, and operations of industrial machineries, and use of various artistic media such as drawing, painting, and printing. Next opportunity is as a fashion buyer. They can work for a small boutique, a department store chain, or a multinational company. It is all depending upon the individual skill set. The individual should have a good taste or good collection. They should have a knowledge about the sourcing of material, textile, or a garment. They should work as a team in a corporate office to make decisions. It's a very tiring job, and then they should do so much of internet research. They should attend fashion designer style shows, and then they should have an up to date knowledge about the fashion trend. The quality of fashion buyer is to have a very analytical and understanding business mind. Then the person should adapt to a fast-paced environment and need to have a high energy level because they have to work around the clock. And they should be friendly, enthusiastic, upbeat, and passionate about the work because they communicate with the persons, the buyers. They should catch hold of the business. Then fashion stylist. This is an upcoming area. So even for the magazines and to make the individuals look good, the fashion stylists play an important role. They are responsible for choosing the entire wardrobe of a fashion show. So the right piece of garment for the right event, for the right person, based on the different body types, client's character, the kind of occasion, the fashion stylist make a wise decision. There are different types of fashion stylists. For magazine, there is a stylist. He's a magazine stylist or a fashion editor, television stylist, music stylist, catalog stylist, and personal stylist. Because now if you see the music albums are coming up, so they need designers in the area. Then if you see the fashion magazines or catalog magazines, the fashion designers, the fashion stylists work as a fashion designers, and for photo shoots, they select different clothings and garments. Even for personal stylists, they work for personal clients, nearly always women, and are in the area of selecting wardrobes for important events, parties, and award ceremonies. So there are umpteen number of opportunities for the fashion stylist. The qualities of a fashion stylist, what do they need? They should have a style sense. Fashion stylists stay on top of the latest trend in the fashion community so that they can dress clients appropriately. They should have a good communication skills. They should have a good organizational skills. They should have a business sense also. They should have a good knowledge of garments, textiles, and details, accessories, and an eye for individual details in the garment and a trendier garment. Then, apart from this, this is a wider scope for fashion designers in the area of computer-aided designing, CAD designers. So there is a big opportunity for the graduates if they know digital illustrator, pattern making, grading, marker planning, graphic designing, textile designing, and content preparation or content creation for fashion companies, for a fashion brand. This is an upcoming area. If after BSc, if they take up specialized course in computer aided, they take up computer aided course, they can specialize in one area and then they'll find job in an industry, garment or textile industry. So skill on the relevant software, they should have a technical skills. They should know about the fabric, garment, and pattern making. Then computer knowledge is very much needed. Then this is an important area in the fashion industry, merchandiser. Merchandiser acts as an mediator between the buyer and the company. So there are three different areas in the merchandising: retailing, export merchandising, and visual merchandising. So if you see retail merchandising, the planning and developing merchandising strategies are an important aspect. They should analyze sales figures, customers' reactions, and market trends to anticipate product needs. Based on the consumer preference, they introduce different types of styles of garments in the retail stores. So the number of styles to be introduced, number of pieces to be introduced, and number of categories to be introduced is based on the retail merchandisers' basic research. Then the qualities required of a retail merchandisers are: they should have a proven working experience in merchandising, highly creative, they should target the audience, they should have an up-to-date knowledge about the latest trend, then excellent verbal and written communication skills. Then they should have a patience to listen also. Then they should have presentation and decision making skills. Then export merchandiser, this is also an important area. The export merchandiser plays a major role in the export and import business. They should be able to negotiate with the buyers. They follow up orders, follow up the purchase of fabric. They should source the material from different countries or different places. The quality checks, follow up all the trimmings and decorative works. So right from design to product delivery, the export merchandiser role is very much important. The qualities are the good communication skills, knowledge on fabric, again, ability to calculate the cost analysis, convincing the buyers, ability to work with team members, analytical capability, good knowledge about the garment industry and all levels of buyers and people. Visual merchandiser, here The fashion designers, if they have a good creativity, they can become a visual merchandiser, because it's all involves the display of garments, display of as a particular theme in a showroom. If you see, I need not tell you, because being in Bangalore, you will know more than us about the window displays, how they make window displays, the mannequins, body forms, then exterior and interior displays, and point of purchase displays. So when you have an eye for that, when you have a good taste for that, you can become a visual merchandiser. So you can use various tools, props, and everything for each and every event and happenings. You can introduce a new theme if you have a creativity. Then garment export houses, you can work as a production manager, quality controller, sample selection. Under each and every area, you can work in the garment export houses. So you can work as an industrial engineer. It involves the engineering side. Then pattern master, you can become a merchandiser, you can a GAD designer in industry. In export houses, you find a job as retail managers, retail buyers, merchandisers, and floor managers. So it's all depends upon the individual skill set and knowledge of the designers or graduates. Then branded retail showrooms, you can analyze local supply network, production plans. You can optimize the sales capacity, the supplier capacity, and you can report on opportunities related to production costs and revenue upsides. You can be a fashion consultant. You can be a fashion consultant to the customers. Then you can give information about the store, and then you can tell about the purchase, the processing of purchases. Then you can enter into the television and film industries also. You can design garments for celebrities. You can design garments for characters and different personalities, because if you see media, there are so many events happening. So you can be you find a very good job in these areas when you have a good skills in designing, good sense of taste. Then fashion designer at design houses. So when you work at design houses, this involves a very unique taste for each and everything. You should have a conceptual understanding. When you start off as a designer, right from designing, when you should start with a thematic presentation, that is portfolio presentation. You should take up a concept, and based on the concept, you should relate. You can take up themes and then inspirations you find, and then you can introduce a range of collections. So when you want to work in a designer house, you should have a very creative mind. You should able to take up themes and inspirations from the nature, and should be able to exhibit those inspirations into real garment. So then journalism. You can be a fashion journalist, you can be a fashion photographer, you can be a fashion scout. You can write, if you have a good writing skills, if you have a very good vocabulary, you can write and report about latest fashion trends. You can be in touch with world fashion trends. You can be a creative writer. You can be a fashion critic. You can report on fashion events. In Bangalore, there are so many companies. You can write. The content creation is the a special field. You can take up jobs in those areas. Even now, if you have a flair for fashion and then style and garment, you can take up content creation. Then fashion photography, if you are very good at photography, you can cover the events, fashion shows and celebrity events. Then you can send your covers to the leading magazines. You can introduce yourself. You can work under some designers also. Then fashion scout, you can travel around the world for unique fashion goods. Then you can be an event coordinators. There are so many, even in schools and colleges, there are so many events happening, fashion shows. If you take up even the traditional shows and the contemporary Western style shows, so you can coordinate everything and then you can conduct. Then apart from that, instead of going to working with an individual company or other and companies, you find entrepreneurship on your own. You can own a boutique. You can start up your own boutique. You can sell clothes. You can sell fabrics, accessories. You can start. It's easy to start, even if you have a small space, and you can easily start a business. But you should know the customer preference and the area in where you start your business, and it is based on. It's not based on your creativity alone. You should know the customer's preference also. So this is one area of business. Then own a designer house. When you are experienced, before you work with a designer or a startup boutique, you should have a basic training somewhere in a boutique. You should, whether they pay you or not, you just take up a job, or you just try to be there for at least 3 to 6 months. You will try to understand what is happening there, what are they doing, and what are the customer preference, and what is in upcoming trend. So you will know everything. After knowing everything, then you can start off with a business, and then you can go up. Then garment unit. It's a complete setup manufacturing unit. It will right from design department to the packaging department it will have. So when you become when you want to start off a garment unit, you can start off in a smaller way also. But for everything, when you want to start up something, you go there and work there for an year. If you want to do start up with your own unit. Then franchisee showroom. For this, you have to pay for the brand which you're going to project. Every year renewal will be there, or sometimes one-time payment will be there, so that you will be promoting that brand and you will be selling the product. Then embroidery units. So this is another area. So most of the bridal wear blouses now, they go for RE embroidery. If you see, each and every boutique will have people, they'll do RE embroidery. Each blouse they charge about 15 to 25,000 for a heavy embroidery. That is minimum, I'm telling. If it is a heavy worked blouses or bridal blouses, the people, they don't mind giving so much of amount for RE embroidery. Then machine embroidery, computerized embroidery. You can undertake retail orders, then job orders you can take, and then supply. So there are so many opportunities. Then apart from that, the other area of textiles and clothing sector is a dyeing and printing unit. You can have a small a dyeing unit also. You can do tie and dye, batik. You would have done in your practical classes. If at all if you are interested in this area, you can go and take internships in the dyeing units, get to know things, and then you can start off your own. Then printing, you have the hand printing, block printing, screen printing, and it's not only used for apparel or garment products or textile products. Each and everything, even if you take a small bag or a small pouch or a keychain, it is all connected with textile materials. So even if you take a cell phone pouch, the key holder, your a diary, it's all covered with textile fabric. You can prepare on your own. If you have a taste for that, you can do printing, and then you can prepare. Now the bags, shopping bags, it's coming in different varieties, different styles, and it is embellished with a different type of enrichments. And then you have a lot more prospect in this area. Then other jobs in the fashion industry are, it is A to Z job prospects are given here. There are a lot more to tell. You can go through this. So I'll share this PPT with authorities. You can learn from this. If at all, if you want to ask anything, or you can contact me, because the time is up. I'm finishing this with ma'am. Yes. If at all students want, if at all any question is there. Ma'am, one more thing. Yes. For higher education, I'm happy to welcome you to Avinash Lingam Institute. From the Textiles and Clothing Department, we offer two PG programs. One is on biotextiles, the other one is textiles and fashion apparel. So you can take up, if you want. Biotextile is entirely an innovative program. It is about You would have heard about sustainable fashion, eco fashion, sustainable processing and everything. Now the eco fashion designers are coming up. That is another area. I didn't include this. That's a vast area. Suppose if you want to build up a brand in eco fashion or a sustainable brand, you can take up MSc Biotextiles course, and then we have a textile fashion apparel course also. Then we have a very well equipped laboratories. We have a textile production unit. You can create products. We have CNR of advanced laboratory. So for research also, we have a full-fledged laboratory. We do research and consultancy also from the textile production unit. So people come from all over India to prepare non-woven products. So I'm happy to share this, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. I thank our own alumni, Dr. Swati, for connecting me with Mount Carmel. Thank you.
All the people on the board are alumni of Avinash Lingam.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Most of us are alumni of Avinash Lingam. Proud to be.
Ma'am, after the EPG Pashala, you didn't visit Avinash Lingam Institute, Sundravalli ma'am and yourself?
Shanta used to visit, I didn't.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am, there is one question.
Okay.
There is one student asking if there's any costume design PG course in Chennai.
In Chennai, in SIAT, they have a textiles and clothing major, MSc textiles and clothing, MSc and MPhil. They don't have it as a costume design. They have it as a textiles and clothing. PG program, only one SIET is offering, and other than that, NIFT is offering various courses.
Okay. Ma'am, a little highlight on different PG courses available across India related to textiles and fashion.
Okay.
For
So,
home science students.
If you see PG courses, it's all related to textiles and clothing, textiles and apparel, fashion apparel, textiles and apparel designing. So the nomenclature is different on clothing and textiles. Then MBA textile management. This is MSc costume design and fashion. MSc costume design and fashion. But if you see, come to under Bharatiyar University, the universities or the colleges are offering MSc costume design and fashion under Bharatiyar University. So, but we are here, so each university offers in different nomenclature, but it's all the curriculum and the syllabus, if you see, all are the same.
Okay. Any other questions, girls?
Swati, I think we will carry on because questions we can take later and answer later.
Ma'am, ask them to mail to me if at all, if they want to get to know about the courses and then the universities. I'll happy to share the information.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Swati?
Yes. Thank you, Bhagya ma'am, for your insight on various areas of textiles and the job opportunities available in all these areas, the courses that that home science students could probably do after their graduation, and the qualities that are required in a person to take up these courses, which was very interesting to know. Thank you so much for taking your time to put all this together. There are many things that a textile person can do, and ample opportunity to become an entrepreneur. Thank you so much for your time and for your effort to be here today with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bhaglakshmi. Thank you, Swati.
Thanks, Michelle.
To bring together the very informative and the very vibrant sharings of the evening, and to give the vote of thanks, I would like to call upon Dr. Sundarvalli, our head of the department. Dr. Sundarvalli is truly Sundar in heart, gracious in speech, and absolutely the engine that takes our department on very interesting and exciting journeys. Over to you, Vali ma'am.
Thank you, Michelle, for that good words. Thank you. Good evening, all. I should say it is such an amazing evening. When we started this working on this particular program, that is webinar, it is from the students, our own students, when they asked us, ma'am, we would like to know the opportunities that are available in the field of home science, because it is 5 areas. Which one we have to choose, we don't know, but we would like to know about each area. Then the brainstorming session started in the department, what we should do. At the time, exactly the E-Week celebration came to the college, that is Mount Carmel College, Transcendo 2021. And we all know that our subject is an entrepreneurial oriented subject. So the title was given as Higher Education, Career, and the Entrepreneurial Opportunities in Home Science. So home science is a versatile subject. First, I would like to thank all the speakers. I thank all the speakers who have proved their expertise where they have emerged as successful people. They have given their best today. I can say Vibrant Shobha has enthralled us with the human development subject as whole and the opportunities within. Then entrepreneurial Geeta, always when she was in Mount Carmel itself, she had the entrepreneurial mind. And Dr. Adarsh, very energetic person who want to say more about food science, food technology, nutrition, and dietetics. We had very little limited time, so we couldn't, but it is good. Then we had Sitara, passionate Sitara. I can say that she had the passion for the extension education, and she has proved that so much is there in extension to give to the community. Not only to the community, we have lot of scope in the government and the non-governmental agencies, and there are a lot of funds which are wasted also. So she has given us insight where we can use to this to improve the community. And Dr. Bhagya, as always, Avinash Lingam, from the values we all possess. We are very proud, Bhagya, also, because that is the alma mater passion we have. So she has told us about the textiles and also the lot of opportunities which is there in the textiles. Thank you all the speakers for this really encouraging and motivating evening for all the students who are listening. And one more thing I would like to say here, today it is the day, we have got the participants from across India, from Jammu to Kerala and Mizoram to Rajasthan and Gujarat. So really, the home science as whole across India, we would able to take it to at least the participants who are here, who will definitely go and take this message forward. And I would also like to ask the other home scientists who are present here to have such webinars for the student community, not only for the undergraduates, but even to the +2 or the PUC or the 11th and 12th students who would like to take up home science in their after their 12th standard or the school final education. So every year, if we can conduct like this, we can bring up home science in the whole country, because now Skill India, that is the mantra of the country, where everyone wants to learn the skills. And home science education is full of skills, each and every area of home science with full skill. And that skill, after finishing graduation, they can go as an entrepreneur, or if they want to expand their knowledge, explore their knowledge, they can go for higher studies and as also researchers in the future. So home science students are ready. With the slight fine tuning, definitely they can grow to heights and they can prove themselves, because our own students from Mount Carmel College, they have proven themselves not only in the area of home science because of the skills that they have learned, even in MBA courses, public health courses, where they have gone, where the opportunity is for the all, any discipline to enter, they have proved their skills, what they have learned from the home science. So we are really proud of our students and also all the people who are here as participants. Please take home the message to all the near and dear ones of home science. Now, I would like to formally thank our management. First and foremost, I would like to thank Dr. Sister Arpana, the principal of Mount Carmel College, always great support to the academic activities. And I would like to place on record our sincere gratitude to Dr. Shaman Jerome, Vice Principal, Dr. Sajita, Campus Coordinator, and Leka, Campus Coordinator, and all the academic deans who are always encouraging and motivating to all the academic activities. I also would like to thank a special thanks to Dr. Shanti, the Director of Incubation, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Cell, where the spark has come for this e-week. So it's so amalgamated and it coincided with our program also. So thanks to all the participants. I'll fail in my duty if I'm not thanking my colleagues of the department. Thank you, Michelle. The program was taken up by Michelle Vass, and she coordinated and ably supported by Dr. Sapna. Then we have Ms. Lakshmi Jitendran, then Dr. soon to be Dorothy Anthony, then Swati Reddy. All of them, they have done a wonderful job. And for all these things, we had our father, Dr. Shanta Maria, who has led us in the front to take it for a smooth running of this program. Thank you, one and all. If I have missed anybody, sorry. And I really appreciate all your cooperation and coordination across the country for coming up and taking this forward to all the home scientists, taking the message from today to taking to all the home scientists of the country. Thank you, one and all. You are on mute. You are on mute, Michelle. Unmute yourself.
So, thank you, Dr. Sundaravali, HOD ma'am. You very beautifully brought the evening to a close, and I would just like to tell our participants before they leave, start with a dream and finish with a future. So have a wonderful evening and all the best, participants, in your plans and your decisions and your journey ahead.
Michelle, can we
Thank
have
you. God bless. Have a wonderful day.
Michelle,
Whatever
can
is remaining of the day.
participants?